friends. It is the last day of the Healthy, Hot, and Happy Life series. That means it's week 3, day 5. This is the training, the 15th training. Whoop, whoop. All right. So whether you've caught one or all of them, I am so grateful that you are here, that I can serve you and help you create awesome health, gain energy. And what I specifically do is help moms release weight for good, end emotional eating, and flatten their tummies. Hey, Terrence, how are you? Oh, sending you tons of love. So if you don't already know me, I am Jessica Joy. I am a mom, I'm a personal trainer, I'm a pre- and postnatal fitness specialist, a binge and emotional eating coach, and I'm on a mission to serve moms, to help them create a body that they feel great in, that they feel energized in, so that they can be their best selves, their best moms, create their dreams, all the things. But it's like health and confidence are foundational to creating everything that you want in your life. And so that's where I swoop in and support moms in creating that. So today we've been talking about releasing weight for good. Hello, Cassie. Releasing weight for good all this week. Okay, so we've talked about mindset, then we talked about nutrition, exercise, water, sleep, and now we're on to the last S of the daily news, and that is stress reduction. So if you don't already know, having a high amounts of stress or having consistent stress inhibits your ability to lose weight, because stress, it releases cortisol. Okay, that's the hormone that makes us feel stressed, and it's a fat storing hormone. So if you have high levels of cortisol in your system, it can be very challenging. Your body doesn't want to let go of the weight. Okay, we're not going to get into the science of it, but that's the gist. Okay, so what is causing this? So I want to talk about what's causing the stress and give you some tools as to reducing stress. And you can use these starting today. Okay, and some of the things I say you may not like. Okay, I coach my clients to take ownership in their lives. And a lot of stress in our lives is honestly self-created. Okay, we don't want to admit that. We want to blame our situation, blame that life is hard, be a victim to circumstances. But in truth, there is so much in our control in regards to reducing stress. And so let's take an empowered standpoint so that we can free ourselves and just have a much higher quality of life and reduce stress. All right, so let's talk about some of the stressors that you may not be aware of in terms of exercise and food, etc. So over-exercising is very stressful on the body, especially doing a lot of cardio. Okay. Luckily, things are getting more clear that weights, doing resistance training and mobility is really important. We're starting to shift away from tons of cardio. But you want to be conscious of this. You don't want to be doing double days on your workouts. More exercise isn't better. There's a point of diminishing returns. Okay, where it's so taxing on your body that your body just wants to hold on to fat. Okay, so get your workout in, 6 days a week, but balance it out. So I talked about it on the exercise day. It's have 2 higher intensity days that are more cardio based, have 2 more strength based days where you're not focused on pace, you're focused on really burning that muscle, and then have some active rest or rest days. Okay, your fat release will come from your nutrition. Okay, exercise is more about creating a healthy, energized body with a little teensy bit of helping you release weight. Okay, so over-exercising is creating stress. Next one is overeating. Okay, having excess food is taxing on our bodies, especially if you're eating a lot of junk food. You are literally stressing your body out. Okay, so just something to be aware of. It's oh, the food can be so appealing, but if we can connect to our prefrontal cortex brain, then we can understand that, wow, this really isn't that good for me. Yes, it tastes good in the moment, but I'm going to focus a little bit farther in the future and let this urge pass and not continue eating. Okay, so Another stressor is a chronic shallow breathing pattern. Okay, we want to be lowering our diaphragm on our breath. It actually triggers you into the parasympathetic nervous system. Hello, Hamdi. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but that's a really pretty name. So thanks for saying hi. So when we're getting anxious or getting stressed, you'll notice that your breathing gets more shallow because you're in your flight or fight response. You're in your sympathetic nervous system and cortisol is coming up. Okay, so if you want to support shifting out of that, start breathing down into your diaphragm. Okay, so you can put your hands at the base of your ribs. Breathe down, relax, and then feel your ribs expand. And you don't want to be able to get like your fingers underneath your ribs. Okay, if you can, then it's like, if you can fit your fingers under there, then it's like you're kind of breathing up into your chest. You want to breathe down. And I'll admit, like, sometimes if I catch some anxiety or stress coming up, I don't want to breathe down. I'm like, like it takes some consciousness to shift and like relax into the breath. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's where the deep breath is. Okay. Because it's like we can get so caught up in the shallow breathing. All right. So the other two things that I'm going to be focusing on today that are causing a lot of stress are lack of planning or structuring your day in a supportive way, and not managing your mind. Okay, so these are like where we come in and we're very proactive about our lives. Okay, because think about it. You can create a very stressed day. What do you think you would do if you wanted to be stressed on a certain day? What are some things you would do? Oh, you would wake up late. You wouldn't have any idea of what you really needed to get done. You wouldn't have done anything to like help prep for the next day. You're like, what am I going to wear? What am I going to eat? Oh, crud, this has to happen. Like you can see yourself. Then you're checking social media and you're like, oh, okay. And then you're late to work. And then something happens and you're in reactive mode. It's like lack of planning, structure, like procrastinating creates more stress in our lives. Okay, so I want to support you in structuring your day so that you can experience less stress. Now imagine if once a week you planned the week, okay, and then you committed to waking up at a certain time. Wake up before the kids, please. 15 minutes before the kids. It's absolutely possible. Give yourself time to get grounded before they wake up and have an idea of what you want to have happen that day, what results you're committed to creating that day. Okay, so somebody I'd recommend for this is Craig Ballantyne. He talks about the perfect day formula. So the front end of the day, that's where you want to be getting all the hard things done that have to get done. Okay, and protect that time. It's like the big needle movers of the day. It's the eat that frog philosophy where you do the hardest things earliest in the morning, get them done. Okay, then you can shift to more management stuff. Then you can shift to more family stuff. Okay. This is about being proactive and being committed and understanding that you can create plenty of stress in your life based on your choices. Okay, so another thing in regards to planning your day is a word of warning about to-do lists. If you have this big list of to-dos, it can create more overwhelm. So what I would recommend is at the beginning of the week, make a list of things that get to happen that week. These results will be created this week. Then, give yourself, then at the side of each one, it's like, how long is that going to take? That'll take me an hour. That'll take me 2 hours. If you need to break up the steps, it's like, I have to research that. Then I have to do that. Then break it down into steps. Give yourself times. And then you're going to time block that thing. Okay. So I like to write them out first and then I put them on my calendar. But it's like, okay, I know I need to open that bank account this week. Okay, I need to open the bank account. I need to sell this thing. I need to find housing for here. We're like in the process of moving. So I'm like, okay, so I'm in this, right? So I don't just make a list for the week. That creates the stress and the overwhelm. I make the list, then each thing on the list, I give a time estimate and I commit to doing it in that time. And then I put it on the calendar. I'm like, 1 p.m. on Friday, I'm going to the bank. Okay, you know how much peace this is going to give me during the week? Instead of when am I going to get to the bank? When am I going to get to the bank? On Friday, I'm going to the bank. So you get everything from that list onto the calendar for the week. Do it on a weekly basis, okay? And then you'll find out if you actually have the time to do it. Another thing with making that list, ask yourself, do I have to do everything on this list? Do I even have to do everything on it? Lots of times it's a no. You don't actually even have to do it, or you can delegate it, or it's like, this week, that's really not that important. Like, prioritize, feel aligned with everything, feel good about it. It's like, yes, this is important. I need to make this happen. This is when it's going to get done. Okay. So there are some tips for planning your day. Let's talk about managing your mind. All right. So any feelings that we experience have been created by a thought. Okay. I've talked about this in some other trainings. But your thoughts create your feelings create your actions, and your actions create your results. Okay, this is a training model or a self-coaching model I'm going to show you in a second. But whatever you're thinking, you're going to feel. And the thing is, as humans, we have automatic negative thoughts. We have a subcortex telling us, eat all the things, telling us to do whatever's easiest, whatever we've always done. And then we have a prefrontal cortex that knows better, that can plan, that understands that delayed gratification is what's going to help us get what we really want instead of what we just want in the moment. Okay, so let's talk about managing this mind. I'm going to run through this on a few examples. And then I want you to write this down, and the next time you feel or experiencing stress, you're going to do some journaling and get it sorted out and shift a lot faster instead of staying in this spiral of stress, okay? Because lots of us, when we are stressed, we want to eat, okay? You don't have to eat. You can still experience stress and not eat. But a lot of us, we have a lot of neural pathways that are connected there. So it can be very challenging. So let's minimize the stress, shall we? Okay, good. All right. So this is a self-coaching model by Brooke Castillo that you can use to shift how you're feeling anytime you want to. Okay, so if you're feeling lousy, you get to use this to identify what's causing it, and then you're empowered to shift it. Okay, so it's circumstance. So the thing that has happened, the thought that you created about the circumstance, so whatever meaning you're giving it, what does that feeling create? What does that thought make you feel? And then that feeling, what does that lead you to do? And that action, what does that create in your life? Okay, what's the result? All right, so let's say there's a lot of things going on in your life. You have like guests coming, somebody's sick, you need to figure out this other thing at work, like things are getting emergency stuff's popping up, things are just chaotic. Okay, so a thought can be, I have so much to do, I'm never gonna get it done. Okay, hey Emma, good to see you. I'm never going to get all this stuff done. Oh my gosh, life is crazy right now. Okay, that's a thought, just an automatic thought. And then the feeling, if you're thinking and dwelling there, you're going to feel stressed. You're going to feel anxious. You're going to feel chaotic and like, frazzled. Okay, what's going to happen? What action are you going to take? It's going to slow you down. You could potentially overeat. You could try to avoid things, procrastinate things. You could snap at your kids. Like when you're in this state, stress doesn't support you. Stress slows you down. Stress makes life harder. You can choose. Like, sometimes we can get this idea that we're entitled to be stressed because life is hard and life is busy. Okay? But how do you want to handle life when things get chaotic? Okay? Do you want to choose stress? Like, do you want to be the person who gets all harried and bothered and like, ah, like wired? There's the word. Okay? Or do you want to be somebody who can be more of an observer? Oh, wow, I'm experiencing some stress. Life is getting a little chaotic right now. Let's see what we can do here to keep cool and keep being proactive about creating what we want in our life. Be proactive about doing the things that we need to do so that we can reduce the stress. Okay? So you get to pick what type of person you want to be. And like I said, sometimes we can feel entitled to feeling stressed, or I know I used to feel that way, especially at night if I was like doing tons of things in the kitchen. I'm like, ugh, this is so hard. Oh my gosh, and I still have this much to do, and the lunches aren't made, and things are still messy, and now I still have laundry. And then I would get all huffy puffy around Chad because I wanted to show him that I was working hard. I think I had a subconscious belief that I just wanted him to acknowledge me and almost feel sorry for me. Be like, oh, you're working so hard, hun. Whereas I could have just communicated, hey, can you give me some props right now? And I could use some support. Would have been much better than playing the victim and acting all stressed. Okay, so let's go through that same scenario and reframe it so that you feel good. Okay, so let's say the circumstance is like life's getting crazy and you even take responsibility. You're like, you know what? I didn't plan that thing and I should have done that yesterday, and that's okay. Okay. You're like, okay. So the thought is, it's like you could be like, oh crap, when am I going to get all this done? Oh my gosh, this isn't going to happen. I'm a failure. I'm always a mess, and then feel lousy. Okay. Whoa, let's take the reins and shift this thought. Okay. All the circumstances are neutral. Okay. There's these things that need to get done, and there's a lot of them. Okay. That's all there is. And what meaning do we want to create? How do we want to feel? Okay, we want to feel calm. We want to feel like we got our shizzle together. We want to feel, okay, like we're moving forward and everything's going to be okay. Okay, what thoughts would I need to think to create that? Okay, I'd need to get clear on what actually needs to get done today. Prioritize it, and then drop what doesn't need to get done and actually fit it in a time-blocked manner. So I know that I can. Can you imagine if you had all these things to do and then all of a sudden you got them out onto a piece of paper, onto the time, and you're like, wow, I can do all this. Okay, can you imagine how much better you would feel? You would feel so much better. So you're like, okay, if I get things organized on my calendar and see that I do have time, then I'm going to feel empowered. I'm going to feel free. I'm going to feel capable. Okay. And then I'm going to go do all those things and things get done. Okay. It's amazing. This tool is awesome. You can use it for anything. Okay. So let's say you're trying to follow like an eating routine. Lori, hello, darling. How are you? It's good to see you. So let's say you had an eating plan and you had a misstep and you're like, oh man, that treat, I really wanted it and I didn't plan on having that, So the circumstance was that you ate something that wasn't on your plan. Okay, the thought you could create is, oh my gosh, I messed up again. I always mess up. I might as well just eat everything that I want for the rest of the day and start over tomorrow. So what feeling does that create? You feel defeated and you feel out of alignment and almost apathetic because I don't even care anymore. Okay, so what action's going to result? Then action, you're going to eat the things and you're not going to be feeling good. And then the result is that, you're going to gain weight and you're going to kind of It's going to chip a little bit at your self-trust. All right. So let's go back and use this tool to get the result that we want, to stick with the plan, to get back on it and feel good. Okay. So circumstance. All that happened was you ate a treat that wasn't on your plan. Cool. Let's not attach any meaning. We're just looking at the fact of the circumstance. This took place. Cool. All right. Thought. All right. I messed up on that, and that's okay. Always come from a self-love standpoint, okay? And that's okay. All right, how do I want to feel the rest of the day? I want to feel like I'm on top of it. Let me plug in my computer. All right, I want to feel like I can do this. Like I know I committed, and I know I can, and I know my brain's going to tell me I can't, but I can. I want to feel like I can, okay? And I want to feel like I moved forward today, okay? So that's quite the empowered thought. You're like, okay, I can do this. And it's like, okay, what do I need to do to make that happen? Okay, what do I need to believe? Okay, I can do this, and how I'm going to make that happen, because you have to believe it. You have to believe the thought that you're doing, otherwise it doesn't work. So if it's like, I'm going to eat nothing the rest of the day, and you're like, that feels crappy, and I don't really want to, then get to somewhere where you're aligned. Okay, I'm going to plan out my meals for the rest of the day, and then I'm going to focus on something else in my life that isn't food that makes me happy. Isn't that so much more empowering? It's like, okay, here's my plan for the rest of the day that I feel good with in regards to my eating. Okay, staying right on track. And so I'm not dwelling in it. I'm going to shift my focus onto something else that brings me joy in my life. Okay, that would make me feel good to accomplish, to experience. Okay, what's the feeling there? It's like, oh, I feel peace. I feel empowered. I feel like I can do this. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so the action is, that's what you're going to do. Plan the nutrition for the rest of the day, and then go do something else that you feel good about. It's like, oh, I needed to get that done anyway. Perfect. Oh, I wanted to spend time with my daughter anyway. Perfect. Okay. And then the result, you lose weight. Okay. If you were on a certain eating plan, you lose weight, you feel empowered, you feel like you are capable, you're gaining self-trust. Like, look at how we took this thought part, this big domino, and shifted it. Okay. So this is so powerful whenever you are experiencing stress, anxiety, anything that's coming up for you. Take a sec. You can take 5 minutes to journal this out. What's the circumstance? What am I thinking? What feeling is that creating? What's that going to lead me to do? Okay, what's the circumstance? What thought do I want to think that's going to make me feel good? That's going to help me take the action I need to take. Okay, what do I need to think? That's going to change how you feel. It's going to change your action and then the result. I do this all the time. Okay, because our brain is wired for more, well, there's different parts of our brain, but the subcortex is wired for survival. So you're going to get automatic thoughts that aren't in alignment with your higher self. It's going to say, stay on the couch. It's going to say, oh, get seconds on the cupcakes. Oh, get thirds. It's the weekend. Like, your subcortex brain will tell you those things, and you get to be present to your thoughts and switch them, and understand that it's like, this is something that I teach my clients, and it's something that we practice so you can apply it in any area of your life. It's like, I know my subcortex brain is going to tell me I don't want to, or this is hard, it's not worth it. All these things that are going to keep you from getting what you want, because your survival self wants to stay the same. Okay, but we know we are humans. We have a wonderful prefrontal cortex, and we're like, what would make life awesome is if everything, whatever you really want. It's like, okay, like, I felt great in my body. I had energy every day. I felt like I was leading my family in their health. Okay, it would feel great to feel organized every day. That would feel awesome. Like, that's what I really want. It's obviously more of a delayed gratification type thing, and you can get there. Okay, and it's harnessing this that will help you shift. Okay, help you shift those thoughts, and then the domino goes accordingly. So This is the last day in the Healthy, Hot, and Happy series. Thank you for being here. And there's some exciting things on the horizon for opportunities, if you've liked what you've heard, to move forward with them. So just be on the lookout, and I will tell you about it. If you're already curious, then just send me a direct message saying, I'm curious, what you got cooking, Jess? Something of that nature, and we'll talk. All right, so much love, and cheers to an awesome weekend. And the time is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to say goodbye, take care, much love, and we'll see you soon, very soon. But not every weekday, a little less, and that's okay. All right, take care.